Very good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
How are you, sir? ரொம்ப நாள் ஆச்சு பார்த்து.
Great. Yes, yes.
Can we speak something, sir? Public audience இருக்கான்னு பார்த்துக்கலாம், செக் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'll have a short presentation. Then will there be any questions?
Yeah, there will be some. First, I will introduce you, sir. That will be the process. I will introduce you with the topic, and thereafter it will be handed over to you. That introduction will be for 2-3 minutes, and thereafter you can start. Meantime, it will be live, and people can send their questions. Whoever is there, those
Okay.
questions will be asked by me.
Okay.
This is how it is, sir.
Hmm.
Can we go live, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Very good afternoon and welcome to third day of fifth 5-day webinar series from Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be university. As in the past, we are roping in distinguished people to deliver lectures on different subjects. Today, we have a very interesting subject which has come up. National New Education Policy, the New Horizon in Education System is what today's topic. And today we have a very distinguished guest in our webinar series, Sri M. Nagarajan, IAS. Mr. M. Nagarajan, to give an introduction to the people. Sir is an IAS officer of 2009 batch of Gujarat cadre. Currently, he is working as a Director of Higher Education in Gujarat State. Sir has a working experience of almost 22 years in various government departments, including Indian Railways, Indian Audit and Accounts Department, and Reserve Bank of India, and the Indian Administrative Service. He has worked as District Collector in Aravalli District, Gujarat first. He contributed in bringing services delivery and industrial development of this tribal area. Later, he was the district collector of Kutch district, which is India's largest district in terms of area and is very strategic location for India's defense systems. Prior to that, Sir was leading Surat Smart City Mission as CEO of the Surat Smart City Development (SPV) Special Project Vehicle. Under his leadership in Surat, was awarded by the Government of India for showing highest momentum in smart city implementation, smart transportation, ICT, renewable energy, open data are some of the areas he made an impact. In his earlier tenure as a district development officer cum CEO in District Panchayat, Sabrakanta district in Gujarat, he contributed on various issues related to education, public health, and rural development. Sir has conceived and implemented the projects in digital village, smart village, rural startups, rural broadband, smart cities, smart urban development, smart urban transportation, e-health, m-health for rural and urban communities. Sir has masters in public policy and masters in economics. A bureaucrat by profession, he believes that technology is the greatest enabler of social change in India. He has been awarded by Election Commission of India for innovative use of technology in elections in Gujarat 2012. He is TEDx speaker. His projects have won major awards including SKOCH Award of Excellence, CSI Neil Hunt Award, Manhattan Award, Financial Inclusion Payment Systems Award, and he has been chosen as District Collector Digital Campaign in 2014 by Digital Empowerment Foundation. Sir is a member of expert group on IT, cyber security of Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. He is a member of Board of Management, Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be university, where his contribution is undoubtedly the best we have seen. We are proud to have you as a member of our board, sir. Sir has made major inventions in health, education, and rural development. He believes that technology can be the game changer in India's development in future. He is a member of expert group of IT and cyber security by Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, as I have told, and he is a avid big blogger in Startup Mentor. Sir, we are very proud to have you in our webinar series, sir. Uh, Over to you. You are most welcome, sir. I thank personally the Vice Chancellor, Dr. B. Subra, Registrar, Dr. V. P. Kumar, and over and above our Chancellor, Dr. K. M. Annamlai, for helping us conducting this webinar series very successfully. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Krishna Kumar. I am thankful to Honorable Chancellor, Vice Chancellor and his team, and you for giving me an opportunity to share some of the ideas on the most interesting paradigm shift in education for across so many decades. And to me, new education policy 2020 is a policy that is ahead of its time. We normally have government which is trying to cope up with changes in other sectors like technology, because regulations are made long after things have become mainstream. But in education, we have made long big strides, and we have tried to put a policy that is actually futuristic and that is very impactful, and that is need of the hour. And if we want to build a self-reliant India, we need to prepare our youth to face the challenges of 21st century. And there are big challenges, but the new education policy provides the tools, vision, and also the support system and mechanisms to take this forward. So I would like to just start my presentation.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
One second. It's coming up. Not yet. Sir. Not yet.
Please check now.
It's only your photograph available, sir. Can you go to the first slide, sir?
Yeah, I'm in first slide.
No, it's not.
Let me check. Let me again restart the process. Is it visible now?
Same. It's only coming as presentation.
Please ask someone else,
Which one, sir?
because for me it is.
ஏன் வர மாட்டேங்குது? Very good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Very good morning. How are you, sir? ரொம்ப நாளா ஆச்சு பாரு.
Your mic is on.
Can you speak something public audience? Yeah. Mic off.
Yeah, I think I'll have a short presentation, then let me try once more.
Yes, sir.
Can you see?
Not the presentation, sir. It is in the same. Only one page with your photograph is coming.
I'm not sure why it is happening.
उनका स्क्रीनशॉट वो स्क्रीन शेयर करके इस पे पिन कर देंगे स्क्रीन पे आके और स्क्रीन को राइट हैंड में ये पिन है उस पे पिन कर देंगे
சார் டாப்ல ஒரு பின் இருக்கு சார் அது பண்ணி விட்டுறீங்க அது there will be a pin sign
उनका फोटो आता रहेगा स्क्रीन पे वो दिखता रहेगा बाद में
I have to pin that window, right?
Yes.
I think I am visible, right?
Yeah, you're also.
But my presentation is not getting visible,
Yeah,
it
it
seems.
is. It's not visible. There will be a ping sign on the top of your system.
Yeah, now I think it's okay.
Right.
Okay now?
Not coming, sir. Not yet.
I don't know what is the issue. Let me log in from another screen. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. You,
एक मिनट सर, उनको कहिए ये जो राइट साइड पे ये पिन है, प्रेजेंटेशन पे जाकर उसको पिन कर देंगे,
presentation,
वो
sir.
चले गए वहाँ से। उनको कहिए यहाँ पिन कर देंगे, उनका पिक आता रहेगा, उनको नहीं दिखेगा लेकिन हम लोग उनका देखेंगे। जब वो
ये वाला।
प्रेजेंटेशन, हाँ एक मिनट, आप मत कीजिए सर। हाँ, वो उसको पिन कर देंगे तो उनका पिक आता रहेगा लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में, लेकिन वो आपको नहीं देख पाएंगे, आप उनको देख पाएंगे। जब वो स्ट्रीमिंग क्लोज कर देंगे तो उनका दोबारा से पिक्चर आने लगेगा। तो प्रेजेंटेशन क्लोज कर देंगे।
स्क्रीन के साथ में प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं आ सकता।
ऐसा नहीं होता है सर, वो प्रेजेंटेशन जो करेंगे तो कैमरा से उनका आपके स्क्रीन पे दिखेगा, पोस्ट आप कर रहे हैं, आपको दिखेगा, पब्लिक को दिखेगा, उनको नहीं दिखेगा कि आपको दिखेगा, ये होगा। जब वो प्रेजेंटेशन क्लोज कर देंगे तो फिर उनका आने लगेगा, फिर वो दोनों अपने एक दूसरे को देख पाएंगे स्क्रीन। अभी वो स्क्रीन पे सिर्फ उनका प्रेजेंटेशन चलेगा, उनको सिर्फ प्रेजेंटेशन दिखेगा। एडमिट कर दीजिए उनको, ये बता दीजिएगा सर उनको। ठीक है सर।
I'll try from this screen, right?
Yes, sir. Again, on the top of it, there will be a pin. You have to pin it.
Now it is visible.
Yes, sir. It is. Yes, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
So now it's full screen, right?
Yes, sir. We can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm very, very sorry for this technical glitch. As I discussed before, new education policy is opening up a new horizon for all of us in the education system. This is the only policy that is very futuristic and it is supporting all the institutions to look beyond. In fact, it is challenging all of us. It is challenging all of us to look into the future and plan. While the vision is very, very exemplary and very inspiring for all of us, inside us, all the institutions, whether it is the government, the universities, whether it's the colleges, across all sectors in government and in also in private sector, self-finance institutions, there is a question about what will be the future and how we should go about it. It is indeed these kind of questions are there. This webinar and many other activities help us to deliberate on these kind of issues and look into the future aspect of new education policy. The policy is aiming at providing universal access to quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities. We all know that having a job itself was a lifetime achievement some decades ago. Later on, from one job for entire life, we moved on to one career where you switch jobs, but your career is fixed. But today, we are looking at a future where every few years, your career also could change. Probably, a person will have 3 to 4 careers in his entire life. That is what the research also has predicted, that people would like to have different careers, a tangential career or something different in their lifetime. So this is the generation which is going to which is born with the digital technology as a granted thing. So this generation is called Generation Z. If we are going to provide in education to this kind of generation, clearly we are not at all ready or having the wherewithal to live up to this challenge. I can tell you one example. If for in the children in our home who are 2.5 years old, they are able to go to if you give your mobile, they are able to open your mobile, go to YouTube and watch their favorite videos. They are able to navigate so fast. Even adults are not able to get used to that. And if such a generation is there and we don't provide smart classrooms or collaborative learning experience, it is very difficult for the institutions to live up to the challenge of providing education to this generation set. The next point that is focused on the new education policy is that it seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable education, keeping in view the sustainable development goals. In fact, sustainable development goals is derived from the human rights, and it provides an opportunity to realize the human rights and values to all the humanity through these enumerated goals. And India is very much poised to achieve these sustainable development goals, and education is a major sector. Only if we this kind of policy can help us achieve that. Respect for diversity and respect for local context. That is another pillar of this new education policy. So localized approach and global thinking, integration with the global thought process, industries, and other technologies is a very, very important aspect. So we should be grounded, but we should be looking forward to the global practices. Recognizing, identifying, and fostering unique capabilities of each student in both academic and non-academic spheres. So we have to provide an opportunity for each and every individual to realize their potential. In fact, that is the whole purpose of education, to help the individuals realize their potential. Many times in our society, we mistake education with job achievement, whereas it is more than just a job achievement. Some of the significant features of new education policy is that it envisions a governance of higher educational institutions by highly qualified independent boards having academic and administrative autonomy. Many times there is complaint that there is too much of bureaucratic interference and red tapeism in matters that are related to education and educational administration. This policy provides for creation of highly professional bodies, which will be having very specialized functions and intercoordination in that. We will be seeing them in the further slides. So this base has been set in this new education policy. Light but tight regulation, which is also one of the mantra of Honorable Prime Minister. Minimum government and maximum governance, setting the level playing field and allowing the players to play the game in a free and fair manner is very, very important. That is why this light and tight regulation by a single regulator for all of higher education, including professional education, which is very, very daunting challenge for us, but it also unlocks the potential of potential of education for the youth of this country. By 2040, all higher educational institutions shall become large multidisciplinary universities with 3,000 or more students. So gone are the days when we are having very, very small institutions focused on very, very niche area. In fact, now large but capable institutions is going to be the trend. Another lot of major reforms are being targeted in this thing, in this policy. The gross enrollment ratio in higher education is to be increased, including vocational education. The GR should increase from 26.3% in 2018 to more than 50% by 2030. It is very important because we are having the demographic dividend in this country. India has the highest working population across the world. We are the only country where we are having the highest youth population. Our median age is also in the youth category around 30, and it is still going to increase for a few more years to come. Whereas all the other countries, especially European countries, are grappling with old age
Population.
population, and the even country like China, their median age has started to increase, which is going to be a lot of load. If there are not enough people who are in the working population, it is going to be a big challenge. Large multidisciplinary universities and colleges with at least one in every district is the target. And spectrum of institutions to include research intensive universities, teaching intensive universities, and autonomous degree granting colleges. All these things are already there, but they were not clearly spelled out. They were not recognized as a category. They were not recognized with a policy backup. Yeah, and it was all happening here and there. Today, research intensive university will be a stated goal and objective of any institution. Where it's a teaching intensive university will also be a stated goal. This does not mean that a research university will not teach or a teaching university will not do research. It is only a matter of degree that a research intensive university would have a major focus on research and teaching would be in addition to that, and vice versa for teaching intensive universities. We need all kinds of institutions. Somewhere higher end research needs to happen, which needs to be disseminated, and somewhere we need to deliver mass education or big level, wider level education for the graduates to become to contribute to the economic activity of this country. And also autonomous degree granting colleges is also another major feature. Multidisciplinary educational research institutes. These are the definition of, we can say, the large institutions which have very highly multidisciplinary focus and have big number of students, and they are already doing well, and they need to have a separate class of their own. And this is where the Meru multidisciplinary education and research universities come in place. A college shall be either autonomous degree granting or a constituent college of a university by 2035, in the next 15 years, which is very logical, because any change, any systemic change in education cannot happen overnight, and it has to be a gradual change where we are taking into account the local context. Professional education and integral will be an integral part of this higher education offering, holistic and multidisciplinary education. In fact, multidisciplinary is going to be the future. The gone are the silos where technology silos, subject silos, domain silos are there, were there. And today there is a increasing recognition of collaboration, increasing recognition of interdisciplinary approach, increasing recognition of a multidisciplinary approach in forming a holistic solution to any problem. In fact, knowing more than one domain or subject is a very, very important part, and especially a combination of technology and humanities combination is going to bring better or best value for humanity through education. Academic bank of credit shall be established. Already we have choice-based credit system, but it has not, the potential of CPCS has not been fully realized because of lack of common framework for transfer of credits. And an academic bank of credit will be able to solve this problem, because today we have technology and we have the policy, and the framework will be established soon, and we will be able to have a common academic bank of credit across the country. So what a transformation that has been achieved in the payments financial technology sector because of the universal payments interface UPI, the same kind of transformation can be achieved through this kind of initiative, especially the academic bank of credit, that you can transfer any credit from any institution in India to any other institution in India. This is going to be very, very transformative and empowering for the youth, because they can look at a very dynamic approach to a dynamic future. To achieve the goal of internationalization at home, courses such as Indology, Indian languages, or systems of medicine, yoga, and other Indian cultural and traditional subjects will also be there. This special and specific emphasis on India-based studies, Indian systems, and India local context is what makes this policy very, very unique, because we have recognized the potential of homegrown knowledge and homegrown traditions and practices. Credits acquired in foreign universities will be permitted and counted for award of the degrees. This is also another major reform that will empower the students to better take advantage of the opportunities available. In the alignment with sustainable development goals, at least 50% of learners to have exposure to vocational education. One anecdote comes to me in this mind. When I was in college or school. I used to hear that in Japan, even a 10th standard pass fellow could actually assemble a radio transistor. I don't know if it is true or not, but this kind of an impression that we get about a country and its technological capability of a normal citizen, that shows the kind of awareness and the attainment levels, educational attainment levels of the country. So because of this vocational education, we will be able to develop a similar kind of basic level of knowledge and capability in vocational and non-vocational education because of this blend. In fact, in today's educational scenario, engineering graduates are not able to get a proper job, but a ITA or polytechnic pass out is able to get a job because he has a vocation in his hand. He is able to solve a problem that is needed by the society. Whereas engineers, there are not enough white collar jobs that are available for engineers. So a combination of these knowledge-based studies and a vocational education is going to empower and also have practical approach to solving a problem. National Research Foundation has to fund competitive peer-reviewed grant proposals of all types across all disciplines. This is also an important part of the increasing the research in this country. Undergraduate will be either 3 or 4 year duration with multiple exit options. A 4 year multidisciplinary master program will also with a choice of major and minor subjects. This will help us in integrating with the international trend of 4 year bachelor degree, and also multiple entry exit to be allowed with appropriate certification. In fact, many proactive institutions have boldly gone ahead for these multiple entry exit options and online courses also. In fact, IIT Chennai has set a new benchmark by delivering a BSc course in data science entirely online with multiple entry and exit paths and totally credits transferable. This is a very pioneering work that is happening, and I'm sure that this is only going to increase in the coming days, and all institutions will be looking at of giving a similar offering because there is tremendous demand for flexible education, especially aided by online. A hybrid mode will certainly add more value and reduce the cost of education and increase availability and accessibility to all. Use of mother tongue and local language as a medium of instruction and offer programs bilingually. This is very important because time and again, psychological research, especially in child psychology, has proven that in the initial years, learning in one's mother tongue is going to build a better logical understanding and conceptual clarity for the child, after which they can learn any language and move forward. We have example of countries like China and Japan and even Russia who are doing even scientific teaching in their own mother tongue, and when needed they are able to connect it with the languages like English. So this will lead to development of scientific literature in the local languages and also enable the students to have confidence of understanding something with clarity, and then they are able to build upon that. This is a very important aspect of this policy and very transformative approach it has taken. The focus on literature and scientific vocabulary of Indian languages, which I have just mentioned, is also very useful and quite path breaking. Strengthening national institutions for promotion of classical languages and literature, promotion of traditional arts and lok vidya is also very important. So when I talked about specialized institutions, higher education will have four verticals: the National Higher Education Regulatory Council, National Accreditation Council, a Grants Council for Higher Education, and also General Education Council. All these four institutions will coming under the banner of Higher Education Commission of India will be a um, very integrative approach to having a nationwide standardized system of education, and professional standard setting bodies will be there to support and augment the effort of this kind of new institutions that will be formed. Technology use and integration. The role of technology has been rightly recognized under new education policy. That is why it is providing new horizons for the education, transforming the entire nation into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. and use an integration of technology to improve multiple aspects of education. We cannot have a large swath of our population, large part of our population left out of the benefits of integrating technology in an empowering way. They are not just consumers, they are not just as a market. They are the citizens of this country who need to know and apply technology to solve their own problem. Their choices should be empowered by their awareness and their own initiative. And new technologies involving artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, smart boards, handheld computing devices, adapted computer testing for student development, and other educational software will also bring in transformation. Even now in the pandemic, we have seen how workspace has been transformed. Now we are talking about work from home and even distribution of offices from highly congested cities to tier 2 and tier 3 towns, and also an increasing trend in freelancing and hire and fire systems are also coming up. The gig economy, what we call, is also picking up. Free exchange of ideas on the use of technology and enhanced learning, assessment, planning, administration. We will be able to use artificial intelligence like technologies to empower the students and also provide customized education and achievement based education, and also self learning and self paced capabilities in the using technology. We will also build intellectual and institutional capacities in educational technology, envision strategic thrust in this domain, and articulate new directions for research and innovation through technology. Online and digital education is already gained a lot of momentum in the last few months, and pandemic has only aggravated the speed of this growth of online education. In fact, open and distance learning programs and National Education Technology Forum will be established to support all these things. And platforms like Swayam, Diksha, and virtual labs, they will need to be extended. And creation of coursework, learning games, and simulations using augmented reality and virtual reality. The constitution of National Committee for the Integration of Vocational Education for skill gap analysis and mapping of local opportunities will also empower local job opportunities and create bridge the gap. Exposure to vocational education to at least 50% of the learners by 2025. Access to Lokvidya through integration with vocational educational courses. And national skill qualification framework, which includes vocation and profession, will also provide better legal and policy background for enablement of workforce. Quality universities and colleges through large scale consolidation will happen. Quality and well incentivized faculty at the core of higher educational transformation, promoting excellence through international accountability and transparency as levers for improved governance, opportunities for expansion of growing enrollments in terms of open distance learning, online programs, branch campuses in other countries. In fact, this will enable all the Indian universities to go abroad, establish their campuses, and compete in the global educational scenario and establish a name for themselves and for the country as a big provider of education. The greater flexibility for students for course choices and pace of study, global exposure for Indian students through exchange programs, and setting up of foreign university branch campuses in India. System-wide ICT transformation will lead for the potential for private sector participation in technology provision, infrastructure setup, capability development for both academic and administrative aspects. So these kind of examples, these kind of activities are only going to bring the future very fast towards us. In fact, the future is running towards us before we move towards the future, and we should be ready with open arms to welcome these new horizons that is created by the new education policy. And the students are very, very keen to exploit these opportunities, and we will be making a great disservice if the educational sector of this country, all the higher educational institutions especially, are not proactive in taking up this challenge and also the opportunity for creating a more powerful and Atmanirbhar and self-reliant Bharat. And these emphasis, this policy provides the real raw bedrock of innovation, transformation, and a diversified and inclusive educational system for all the students of this country. And institutions like GRI will be taking a lead in taking this educational revolution to each and every student across the rural areas and other areas, solving of rural problems, innovating for the Bharat, innovating for rural India, and ensuring that technology benefits is available to everyone, irrespective of where he resides, is a major aspect that where institutions like GRI can focus. We are having this opportunity to move forward and move fast and embrace the future. So I thank you very much for giving this opportunity to share my ideas and thoughts on new education policy. And I would like to answer any questions if there are any. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. This is something great experience, I can say, as a convener. You have capsuled entirely the NEP, and you have administered in half an hour's time. Very, very precise carpet bombing, I can say. Uh, Thank you so much,
Thank you.
sir. You have taken out your valuable time and came and you have addressed our webinar. Now we'll go to the question session, sir.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
the first question is on very particular uh, one particular issue which is coming up. We started up with Gurukula system in the past. Today we are advancing to NEP. Uh, there is a apprehension among the people that there could be a gap between uh, the student and teacher relationship. How the NEP is addressing this, sir?
To me, there won't be any gap. In fact, new education policy is just moving the center of education from a teacher-centric education to a learner-centric education. Here, the student is co-learning with the teacher. Teacher himself or herself is also a co-learner, and every time there is something happening, an educational activity happening, the teacher also learns. So it is a mutual empowerment of the teacher and the student. And in fact, I feel that it is the return of the Gurukulam back in the technology years, because the student is going to be facilitated to learn on his own to his capability, and where he reaches the plateau, there the teacher comes and guides him and collaborates with him. So it is now a collaborative learning. Everyone is a peer, including the teacher. So the teacher is no longer a giver and student is no longer a taker. In fact, both are the giver and both are the taker. That is the beauty of this new education policy, because that is the value of the new generation of students. And rightly, this policy is addressing that value and the need of the child in having a very collaborative learning.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It's a real good explanation on part of the way you have explained. Great, sir. Now we are coming to the second question, sir.
Yeah.
We have knowledge-based education and we have skill-based education, and this new education policy is a blend of both. Can you just bit elaborate it, sir?
One is knowledge-based education, and
Skill-based education, second one.
yes, like we said, there is a major focus on vocationalization. And my example about how a polytechnic student is more in demand than an engineering graduate because he is having the vocation on hand. And we having only a person who is having only knowledge of subject and not having the practical capability is not going to help. So there is a need for blending the action and the knowledge. There is no use for knowledge without action, and action without knowledge will lead to confusion. So it's better that we balance the knowledge and the action part, and vocationalization will help us in actually creating the students who can solve societal problems and who can work on, who can balance their knowledge with their skills of delivery. So in fact, vocationalization is going to be very, very major aspect, because the unlocking of value of education comes through the practice of vocation.
That's great, sir. That's great, sir. Now we are going to the third question, sir. As you rightly
Yeah.
said, Indian universities can go abroad and uh, have their own signature in terms of impact in the global platform. What would be the kind of impact of quality of education due to foreign universities entering into our country?
Yes. And I think education, there is a need for collaborative competition, where each one is working together to set new standards in their area of choice. There are certain strengths which can be brought in by the foreign universities, and there are certain strengths that we can provide to the world. In fact, we will need to have a blend, and we should play on our strengths. For us, our first priority should be to educate the youth of our own country and empower them to be ready to face the future. That is why this combination of transformative approach is very, very essential. And in higher education, if foreign universities are able to come to India, it will help our own universities to raise their vision and to get equally and to deliver a very qualitative experience as good as any global university in the world. So it will help us in improving our own standards, and also it will give benchmarking, global benchmarking for the entire educational sector in this country. So I'm sure that it is a trend that we cannot stop, but it is very important for us to face this future and emerge and bring out our own strengths on the from the education side.
That's really wonderful, sir. There is the next question is on the cost of education. Today, government is providing education. Private people are doing their part in imparting education. The cost of education due to NEP, how do you see whether it will come down or it will be same or it will be increasing?
Yeah, the cost is a important aspect because it decides access to education. And I foresee that because of adoption of hybrid teaching learning methodologies and a combination of open distance learning and online learning, there will be a reduction in cost in certain aspects. But because of emphasis on quality, emphasis on getting teachers who are highly qualified on global benchmark, there will be increase in the cost of the human resources. So I think that all the institutions, especially in the private sector, will try to balance by increasing the quality and reducing cost on the delivery mechanisms. So this combination will be a trial and error. We will have some challenges in reaching a very balanced approach, because all these things are very much emerging. And if you see, even fee regulation has been a major aspect because of this pandemic. And a lot of the costs which are actually incurred in delivering an educational program are not very transparent, and there are different standards of measurement across institutions. I'm sure going forward, all these things will be sorted out, and we will be having a very standard mechanisms to understand cost and implications. But ultimately, what will win is the winner will be based not only on cost, but will be based on quality, will be based on empowering the student, and even people who are willing to go abroad will have other options or quality options within this country, and it is going to be a very dynamic time for everyone.
Great, sir. Now, going to the question of, I come back to your presentation, sir. In the presentation, you have emphasized and you have elaborated that the institutions today will have to be or will have to become multidisciplinary institutions in the way
Yes.
forward. Now, I personally feel that we as a country we have now IITs, IIMs, IASs, and specific institutions which are focusing on engineering, which are focusing on your management and science and so on and so forth, what will happen to those institutions which are specific today?
See, when we talk about interdisciplinary, it is only interdisciplinary. It is not all the disciplines.
Okay.
So what we need to look at is what is your core discipline? What will be your allied discipline? For example, if you take say Department of Biology, when they added technology, it became biotechnology. When you add analytics, it become bioinformatics. So this is the kind of new requirements that are emerging in the industry. And multidisciplinary means basically we should be open to working with other disciplines. And for example, the entire telecom IT revolution that is happening is all based on silicon semiconductor, the chips, and it is starting from it is in the electronics. The core and basics is in electronics and embedded electronics. So when we talk about something that is happening, the application of technology or requirement from another discipline into one discipline will create a better solution. I'll tell you a recent example. We had a lot of students who are innovating during this pandemic, and we had an innovation challenge which is called the COVID challenge, in which there were 2-3 models of ventilators that were proposed by the students, and one of the model was very successful and it went on to go for real world trials also. So if you want to make a ventilator, what is the subject disciplines involved? It is having electronics, it is having mechanical, it is having medical field, and it is also having a material field. So when 4 fields are merging, one ventilator could be created.
Hmm.
And then now when we are taking the ventilator to market, you need a marketing person, you need a finance person, you need a HR or administrative person to actually deliver that service or the product finally to the market. So if you are able to integrate and merge the allied disciplines, forward linkage, backward linkage, or lateral linkage, that is going to be the need, and that will be based on the core focus of each and every institution, their own strengths. So IITs and IIMs will have other disciplines which they need, and same way an institution like GRI will have another discipline that we need to integrate. And one example I can quote, for example, from GRI perspective, what are those things that will affect the future in areas where GRI is focused? GRI is focused on urban, rural. GRI is focused on impact. GRI is focused on sustainability, and all these things are going to be impacted by climate change, new technologies like drone, smart agriculture, and also delivering services to citizens in rural areas, rural e-commerce, rural health. So none of this is going to come without interdisciplinary approach. So first there is a mission of the organization, then you have your tools, and then based on the tools and requirements you make it interdisciplinary. So it is going to be a very dynamic, very open, and
Sure.
very challenging future for all of us.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic, sir. Now, it's your, it's there in your core heart. If we see the patents from the higher education institutions and public at large in our country, and we compare it to the other countries, the ratio is very, very wafer thin in terms of Indians uh, registering patent. How the new education policy is going to boost up this particular aspect of getting patent and going global.
This emphasis on research means your research will be validated only through a patent. So knowledge creation can be recognized only by patenting. And we need to make a patent not only in India, but under the patent cooperation treaty, we need to go for international patent also. In fact, going for patent should be the default thing. We had a recent course on delivering on the intellectual property rights for all the college professors in Gujarat. And we had a talk on why patenting is important. And knowledge creation is very, very important, because once you create an idea, once you create a design, once you create a product, many times there was a query, whom should we approach first? So somebody said that if you have an innovation, the patent office should be the first one who knows about it. First, you have to make your claim, and then you have to prove the claim, get the patent in your name, and then protect the patent. So, knowledge creation, knowledge protection, and knowledge exploitation. All these three are very much important. And now only we are realizing, because now research is coming into focus, we are realizing the importance of knowledge creation, and now we have to go for knowledge protection. And it is very easy because of online methodologies to go for knowledge protection. And also many state governments are doing support creating policies for supporting the innovation at the institution level. I can quote from Gujarat example. We have a policy called Student Startup and Innovation Policy. Here, if the student is having an idea, the education department itself provides anywhere from 50,000 to 2 lakh rupees to the student to work on the idea. His teacher becomes the mentor, his institution provides the infrastructure, and the student becomes an innovator while he is in college. And if he gets a patent, if he gets a product, then he will become an entrepreneur, he will start his own startup, and he will be supported to go to market and make his product in the market. So a student can now become an entrepreneur. This is reducing, this is reducing the time to market for the student. He is able to get a very experiential place, collaborative learning, safe environment to try out his ideas in the institution itself. The institution is able to empower a student from a job seeker to a job creator. Even if 10% of the students become job creators, the other 90% of the students can be provided employment in this country, which is very, very important to unlock the potential. Other thing is to have create a mechanism for finding local solutions to local problems. You cannot expect a person in Delhi or Mumbai to come and solve a problem that is there in a rural area or taluka place or in a tier 2 city. Can we expect somebody from Chennai to solve a problem in Dindukal? It is not going to be possible. We have to empower the youth of Dindukal, the colleges in Dindukal, the universities in Dindukal, to work on their local problems to specific to that area, whether it is in agriculture, whether it is in um, rural management, whether it is in dairy sector, animal husbandry, or whatever is there which is available locally. We should give that opportunity, and then once an innovation is made, it should be protected and supported to be taken to the market. So this entire chain can be managed only when we have multidisciplinary universities and access to mentors and collaborative environment. And this is going to be the future.
Great, sir. Great insight. Uh, uh, I have no words. It's like a library environment you have given. Knowledge pouring in. Sir, we are talking about rural students. A couple of one or two more questions, sir. The rural fraternity today, student fraternity, is today struggling to cope up with the tremendous changes which has been brought up by NEP. Uh, do we have any kind of study to measure it, sir? How successfully they are adapting?
I am not aware of any studies, but it is a challenge for the rural students because of their location. For example, when we are talking about online teaching, learning, even this webinar, a student who is in a place where there is not much connectivity, he is going to miss out on this opportunity. I believe that access to data, access to internet is going to be a big game changer, because it is giving access to opportunity, it is giving access to knowledge. So we need to empower the institutions to provide that knowledge and access to the students. For example, every college can have 24 hours internet center. Every library can function as a community information center and institution center. And we already have this village-based common service center, which also function as a browsing center for all the students. So these kind of things are going to be very, very critical. and many times they miss out on opportunity. For example, if the youth is preparing for a competitive exam and he doesn't have a browsing center within his village, he needs to travel to a distant place, spend money just to get some basic information and knowledge. So connectivity and availability of technologies are playing a very, very important role. And that is why many state governments have started providing free tablet to college students, and also data
Laptops.
uh, laptops, and also availability of data connectivity is very, very important, and cost of connectivity. We have seen that online classes are going on for 2 hours and 3 hours per day. The general availability of 1 GB data per day or 2 GB is getting exhausted. So the student doesn't have option to spend more on the connectivity part of it. These are challenges that we will need to resolve in the coming days.
That's really a great experience, sir. You have taken out your valuable time, came and joined us. I know you have other meetings scheduled. Even every minute I have seen your busy engagements. Sir. I really thank you very much for participating in this webinar and sharing your knowledge with us. It's going to be a library document, I'm sure, in the days to come in many of the education institutions as a reference. What exactly is the new education policy and what are the benefits and what is it that new education policy is looking for and what kind of changes we are going to have with this new education policy of, of the government. I'm sure, as our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi always insisted and said that India is going to become global skill based center or power in the days to come. I'm sure with this education, new education policy, this is going to be a reality in near future, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I have to come for a formal conclusion of this webinar. Mm, I'm thankful to Sri Nagarajan sir for coming and participating uh, with his busiest schedule and paucity of time to contribute in this kind of webinars because of his official engagements. Sir had come and delivered a lecture on new education policy, the new horizon in education system. Thank you so much, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much.